This tutorial will show you how to use that you can actually display detail information. The last one we talked about being able to show summary information on leaderboards. So I'm going to close these two summary leaderboards, the informational leaderboards that I got from here. We also have a command for displaying detail information as far as scoring. So we were looking at individual scores. Just so that it's clear here, I'm going to switch back to individuals so we can see the individual setup of the scoring module. It's not necessary to do that in order to display, because you can display whatever you want to no matter what format is selected in the scoring module itself. But for right now I'm going to make them the same. I'm going to select individual net to show the detail information for our individual net. So, I'm going to resize the scoring module just a little bit so we can see both on the screen. So this shows then each player in order according to how they played in net. So 64, 68, 270s, 271, 70, 273, etc. And the players in that order. And it alternates colors based on scores. So there was one player at 64, one at 68, two at 70, two at 71. And let's put in a score. Let's create a net score for another player. And I see in the scoring module that Mike Peterson. So I'm going to type PED, and Mike doesn't have a score yet. So let's see. He's an 18, and we want to make 70. So that would, let's shoot for a score of 88. Let's see how close we can come to an 88. And 85, so let's give him a 3 on the last hole. So there's an 88 and a 70. As soon as I move away from Mike, Mike's score will show up in the detail leaderboard below. All of our leaderboards, both the summary and the detail boards, automatically update as you enter scores into the scoring module. And so now we can see that there are 3 players who have a 70. So notice how there are 3 green lines and then 2 white. And so it just helps you see the scores, the groupings of the scores. Let's do the same thing. I'm going to now close this leader. Oh, actually, let me show you one more thing. And that is that once you have the information in this leaderboard, if you wanted a printout of this information, you could just click on Print at the bottom of the leaderboard. And the information is then tossed into Excel, and is then, so you can see this Excel, and so it's basically, see, we'll just pull this right in here like this, and you can just print that out. So what shows up in Excel is basically exactly what you're seeing on the leaderboard itself. All right, so it's just a quick way of getting information from Tournament Expert into Excel, where you then can make any changes to it because it's Excel, and all of your Excel skills can come into play. So I'm going to turn off Excel now. But this is true for any of our display, any of our detail boards, and any of our summary boards as well. Any of these, you can print the information directly from the board once you see it, which is really quite handy. So we're in individual mode, and I've got a display net detail board showing. But let's say that I wanted to view the team best ball net. So I would click for individual. And here is now another detail board. And this is now showing the team scores. So let's confirm that those really are correct. I'm going to switch the format in here in the scoring module to best ball format. It adjusts, and so now I'm looking at, let's look at John Ingerson. I'm going to click on John, and John's team scored a 65 and a 61, 65 gross, 61 net, and we're looking at the net score, and here's the 61 net for John's team. Let's say that John was looking at the scoreboard, and they came up and said, ooh, my partner Ray really didn't have a 3 on hole number 1, he had a 4. So we go, okay, let's click on Ray to make him the active player up here. And he had a gross 5, so I'm going to type in a 5. And that switches to a 4, which now makes them a 65 and a 62. And when I move away from this team to another team, it will automatically update the leaderboard for us as well. And again, these leaderboards are to be used for information. You can have them up so that you can keep track of how the tournament is doing as you're entering scores. You can show these on TV or out in the on a projector in the display area. But once again, these are not the best leaderboards visually for displaying on TVs. We have others that look much better than these do. We generally use these just for information, so that we know that everything is moving along correctly and that the scores that are being entered have been entered correctly. All right, so that's our display detail. Let me just show you some of the other display detail boards. We can do skins from this area. Might as well look at skins. We haven't looked at that yet. So I'm going to do the net skins leaderboard, and this shows in the skins area. Again, it shows the players. These are their net scores. These are going across their net totals, their front and back net. And it shows that Randy scored 2 skins, one on hole number 5, one on hole 15. Jeff, with his net 0 on number 4, got a skin there. Someone may come up to you and ask, why didn't my 3 or whatever on hole number such and such not get a skin? At which point you can say, let me show the ties. So I click, and this shows all the ties on each hole, so that you can show that, yeah, there were 2 3s here, there were 2 3s here, there were a number of 4s here that prevented a skin from being awarded on this hole. And then you can also put the number of dollars that are in the pot. Let's say that there actually were $400 in the pot this time. So I'm going to say 400. So then each skin is worth $66.67. So you know what each skin is worth, and then how many skins each person won, and you can award your skin values easily that way because it shows up there. You can show other things. If you wanted to only show this area by just showing the winners, you can do that, and that shuts out the people that didn't win. Or you can say show all. This is right now showing individual skins, but that's not the only kind of skin you can show. You could say show the best ball skins. So here are the skins based on the teams that were awarded. And you can also show skins. I'm going to go back to individual skins. We have an option for showing skins under half pops, because this is so that a net score shows up as a half pop instead of as a full pop. And some people like to do that. So we'll go back to full skins. We also have the option of showing deuces. So you can only award skins based on people who actually got a 2 or lower. And you can change the colors, and you can view the skins by flight if you want to. So that if you only wanted to say, only people in flight A who won skins, then it'll show you that. Or only people in flight B who won skins, then it'll show that. Or to show all flights together. You can select which players are in. Maybe it's only the first player on each team, or the last player on each team, or only the players who are using the certain tees, the top tee. And then when you're ready to print out a result, you can do what you did in the other leaderboards, which is just print these results directly to Excel, and it not only prints it with the information, but with the colors as well that you have chosen. So this is Excel. Okay, so that's a quick walkthrough of the display detail boards that are available in the scoring module in Tournament Expert.